Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. We're talking about Two Strikes, Risk, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. But first, my name is Christian.
My name's Bobby.
My name's Nick.
And I'm still recovering from DLG Con, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
At what age does your body stop recovering from the amount of abuse you put it through?
I'll tell you.
Like, will it be like 60 and your body's like, I need 1 week to recover.
He can't
from
be
these
stopped.
18 shots.
This guy can't be stopped. He can't.
No, it's not true, dude. I really started feeling some hangovers this time around. It wasn't good. Usually I'm immune to hangovers, but yep, I felt like two of them. Not super strong, but whatever. It's catching up to me, guys. I'm not as invincible as I once was.
No. Well, that one day soon you'll be beaten at an arm wrestle, which I think is good news for the people.
Yeah, I mean, eventually they'll all pile on and somebody at DLG Con will beat me.
Yeah.
Cricket soldiers literally fucking doing curls while looking at a picture of me. Not in a gay way, I don't think.
It's just the music from Rocky pumping him up.
Yeah.
He's throwing darts at your face every night as he goes to bed.
He's watching over the top. He's watching over the top on repeat.
As he's listening to the podcast, but just your voice. He's like, ugh, ugh. And with that, I don't know, on the radar, games that have caught our attention, but that we haven't played. Bobby, what's going on?
I want to talk about a Lethal Company today, and I don't know why we've missed this one. I just randomly saw it on the Steam page. It had very good reviews, and I was reading the reviews, which I often do on these games, and a lot of people were comparing it to Deep Rock Galactic or making kind of a connection between the two. So it is it's a co-op game. It's a sci-fi horror game. Where you run around an abandoned moon and you have to collect scrap, and you bring that scrap back and you spend it on upgrades. So, I mean, kind of a similar game loop as Deep Rock Galactic, but it's supposed to be more on the horror side, and it relies heavily on the proximity chat. So a lot like Phasmophobia, where you only hear people when they're close to you. Because you're supposed to be off on your own searching for stuff, and it's supposed to be very spooky, yet you're working as a team to do it. The graphics look a little rough, and the game is in very early access, but I mean, everybody says it's got a lot of promise, so hopefully they continue to develop it. It's only $10. I'm probably going to check this out this week, but here's the thing. I don't want to do that if no one's going to play with me. I'm guessing you can queue up with randos, but I think this would be a great game for us to play together. So next Friday, if anybody's interested, let's do it, man. Lethal Company.
Send Bobby a DM that he's not going to respond to at Robert Digital on our Discord. That's how you can find them, and then you can if 3 people commit, maybe even 2. I think Nick's in. Nick, you in?
That might be. This seems interesting.
Yeah.
New scary game is always nice.
Is there no combat, Bobby? I can't tell.
I don't think so. So I don't want to spoil too much because people have kind of given away a little bit in the reviews that I read. I don't think there's any combat. I think you just run and hide. But it does seem like there might be some monsters out there trying to get you.
Think about this. It's a run and hide game where you probably have to be quiet, but it's proximity voice chat. So it's like you might have to.
You're right. That's interesting.
Yeah, you might have to like, hey, are you okay? Or whatever. It's really interesting. Yeah, I like it. I like the
God
concept.
forbid you fart when the monster's chasing you.
The real horror is when Bobby loads up this game and the menu to assign equipment to your company is like something you actually have to click on as your character. And then he screams into the mic, no.
We played a little. You're alluding to Phasmophobia and how bad that was, but we played a little bit of that. And let me tell you, as a junior ghost hunter, it was great. Like I just got in the van and all the fucking shit was in there. It was awesome. I just grabbed whatever I wanted off the wall.
Yeah. Daddy Nick
got free
paid
snacks.
for it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just me; it was Bobby too.
Cool.
Well, we had some good runs there, and I'm getting leveled up so I can actually contribute and buy stuff. Although I don't really understand what happens or how you lose equipment. Is if you die, do you lose the equipment that you yourself bought? Is that how it works?
Yes. So if you die, you lose the equipment that you brought if you die, your team succeeds finding out the correct ghost and takes a picture of your body. You get anywhere between, I think, 40 to 60% of your money back. And if you die and everyone else dies, you lose everything.
That's got to be a
Okay.
pretty shitty run for everybody to die, I feel like. But then again, we were doing easier stuff.
Well, I kind of felt
So-
like because Nick was bankrolling all our operations there, I kind of felt like he was the most important person to keep alive because I assumed that was how it worked. Like if he died, he stood to lose the most. So
I mean, I've accidentally purchased things like having like 32 fucking things of salt, which is a lot. But I don't have like a lot of the expensive things. It's fine. I don't care. What's interesting is like you're like, oh, it has to be a shitty run for that to happen, right, Emilio? Well, as soon as you get to the level below the hardest, it is possible for certain ghost types to kill multiple people, if not the whole party, in one hunt.
Jesus. That's
And so
terrifying.
like when you hear a hunt, instead of everybody hiding in one corner, everyone splits. Like everyone, and it actually, what's funny is the smaller levels end up being harder because of that. Because the ghost will just ping pong from person to person. and
Pac-Man
kill
everybody in reverse order.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, me and my friends that we've been playing since early access or early access, because I think it's still in early access. We play on the hardest difficulty, and it gets pretty rough sometimes. But you make insane money.
Speaking of co-op games, Remnant 2 is having their first DLC. It's called The Awakened King. I can't find much information. Literally, I mean, I checked out a couple articles. Everybody has the exact same information that's on the Steam. It comes out in 2 days. And so there is a new archetype that is the Ritualist. What's cool about that is you don't have to re-roll. You can, as soon as you get the little knickknack that unlocks the Ritualist, you take it to the knickknack guy, and he allows you to roll. You can parse in the new archetype. So you just take one out, put one in, because you can have 2 equipped at any one time, your primary and secondary. So yeah, you can get that. And I guess he's more of a mage. He has his own trailer. He or she has his own trailer. And yeah, a lot of like spell effects, which there are very little of in the game. Like none of. You can do
When you say
abilities, but
ritualist, it
nothing that
sounds like a
look like
magic.
a spell. Anyway, like they're making runes and shit, like spelling runes and shooting big things. So
So
I
you
thought that
and
was
John are
interesting.
going back to this?
Oh yeah, for sure. I would play this every day. It's so good. And so it says a new storyline, new area, new items, new bosses, but there's like one area, it would have like 6 different playthroughs through it. So every area in this game has 6 different instances that can happen. So just one area is a lot. And each instance has its own boss. It's a lot. So even you just say one new storyline, one new area, that it's a lot of content. So the original game, I think, came with 5 areas. So one more it's a good amount, like 20% of the game or something.
Cool.
Yeah. Hopefully
Nick
it's not
just-
too expensive.
Nick put on his glasses, and I think he looks 30% smarter. I mean, he looks like a smart guy base. No worries. But when Emilio wears glasses, he reminds me of
Skydiver.
no Edna from The Incredibles. You sound like you're gonna be like no capes.
Yeah, there's not even a price
do
on this yet. I don't know.
No price.
You can do the.
It kind of scares me,
Amazing where
man.
you
Like
push
if
up
they're
your
not putting out
glasses.
any information, maybe they're not very happy with it,
Yeah, that
with
is
what, the
weird.
DLC?
Yeah.
Well, comes out in a
Maybe
couple
they're just trying to
days.
keep it on wraps,
Yeah,
so people
I
don't
don't
figure
know.
out how to beat all the bosses super quick or something.
Yeah, it could be. Who knows?
We'll see.
Christian, so you have 2 strikes and then I have 2 strikes because I played it. How do you want to play this?
Ooh. Okay, I'll talk about it, and then you can tell me in all the ways that I'm wrong. Right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. So 2 strikes. I went
Nope.
to the
No.
wrong.
It's
Get
actually
out.
pronounced 2 streakies.
2 streakies. Yeah. Okay, so 2 strikes. I was at a local Calgary game dev meetup, and this guy's like, "You gotta try this game. It's by like an Edmonton developer, and it has a really unique art style, and it's a fighting game." And I'm like, I'm not too good at fighting games. I kind of suck. And then he's like, "No, it's a strategic fighting game. Anyone can probably get the hang of it and win because in 2 strikes." Your character is out, and there's also a high attack and a low attack and dashing mechanics. So that's kind of the little gimmick, I guess. The art style is beautiful. I haven't seen a fighting game like this. And now, Emilio, am I right or wrong?
Yeah, maybe it's a high attack. There's a strong attack and a quick attack.
Okay.
I'm not sure if one is high and one is low. I don't think so. There is no jumping, which is very strange for a 2D fighter. Um, it's all about feinting. You can feint in this game, which I don't think I've ever seen. With Ryu, you can fake throwing a fireball, but that's about it. Or you can like jab and just throw out a little tiny punch and just make your character move, but it's not a built-in feint. I've
Yeah,
never seen it before.
I think in all of Street Fighter, there's been like 5 characters, which in like the 100 that there is, that can actually legitimately like feint, and that's it. Like it.
Yeah,
One of
there's
them
not
was
a
like
lot.
the French guy who did like the grappling. Like he could go to grapple but dash backwards.
Oh,
And
right.
all
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. Cancel a
all this.
roll or cancel a dash.
Yeah,
But this
and
game is all
like
about
only
feinting, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's feinting, there's dashing, there's parrying, there's heavy attack, and I think that's it. But that's a good amount. So it's like feudal Japan, hand drawn art, very beautiful. Low key on the color, but great use of it. Like there's some levels that are just completely black and white. The characters are black and white. So it's very stark, the contrast, and then of course when blood. It's funny because the backgrounds look like paintings, and I would notice after like an hour of play when you're having a duel, right, and it's like the best of 5 because the games are so far 2 quick strikes and they're dead, or 1 heavy strike and they're dead. That's it. So there's a lot of like footsies basically. It's deadly footsies. It's kind of like when you're playing Street Fighter and you both people have no health. That's how you're playing. The high.
like
The most tense part of the game is
Yeah, it's the most
end
tense part
every
of the game.
round.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
was the name of
2D
that game?
chivalry.
Well, there was another game from years ago that got popular
Dive kick.
for dive kick.
Dive kick.
That's what it was.
Or
Yeah,
was it
dive
jump
kick
kick or
was a
dive kick?
one-hit shit.
That
Yeah,
was
you
one
could-
hit. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was more like fast-paced. This is a little more methodical. Um, I like it. I think they've got some hurdles ahead of them. So I think if I was playing with somebody right next to me, couch co-op, it would be fantastic. But the AI, it's hard to play mind games with an AI. It just doesn't work. It doesn't matter how many times you faint; they're not going to fall for it.
Yeah.
They know it's a feint. And then you can just wait every time and then parry their attack and then kill them.
Well,
And
I bought it for
so-
me too, dude, and I would love to play against you. Maybe that'll make it more
There's
fun.
no multiplayer, so
Oh,
that's
there's no
why
multiplayer?
this is the only
Oh,
reason.
that's
Yeah.
weird. Why even have a feint in the
Well,
game?
it's in early access, right? So
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
okay.
But for a game that this is Twitch mechanics for a Unity engine, it's going to be hard to get that netcode down to an acceptable space. I mean, I hope they do it. They just have a big mountain to climb in front of them, and I didn't find playing the AI being that rewarding. I mean, I had a good time, but I eventually got to a character I just could not do anything against, and I didn't understand how to beat him. But
Okay.
that could be my fault. I don't know. But
It has remote
Yeah.
play together. Is that like the way you can co-op through Steam?
yes, but then you would be playing as you would be playing a stream of somebody else, right? So you'd be at maybe a second behind. So somebody
Right.
would be at a big disadvantage
Okay.
in a
Aw.
game like this, where I'm telling you, it's like right that, like, super quick reflexes.
Well, I haven't had a chance to play it yet, and I guess I should have looked at it a bit harder before I thought it was co-op. But I'm still excited to play it after the cast and next week. So, 2 strikes.
Strikes.
Nick, Ark Survival Ascended.
Yeah, so this is something that kind of came out of nowhere. So Arc 2 has been teased for a while. A couple years ago, we had the video of Vin Diesel holding a baby with a lady, and they were like, Arc 2. And so people were like, sweet, finally a second Arc game. Give us more dinosaurs or give us more dynamic shit. Make the game not look like, caca anymore, because it was pretty rough for a while. And they're like, well, we have a new announcement for Arc, and it's Arc, and everyone's like, and they're like, Survival Ascended, and everyone was confused as shit. No one was like, yay, so this is not Arc 2. This is not. This is also kind of not Arc 1. It's mostly Arc 1. It's like Arc 1.2.
What's
the
happening?
whole game has been remade in Unreal Engine 5. The original engine was under Unreal Engine 4. The shitty thing is you have to pay $45 for it. And the reasoning being is that there's a couple new exclusive creatures. There's like 2 new maps that are not like huge, insane, like storytelling maps. And it's just not a completely new game. It's literally just a graphical overhaul, right? And people have achieved pretty high graphic fidelity on the game with mods anyways. They say there's a new a new UI, but everyone's like, it seems like it's the exact same thing. And the one new mechanic that they've added in the game is something called tracking, and it's essentially what you think it is, where you can track animals as well as track how many you've caught, what's the highest level of something you've caught, and things like that.
So is this a tech test? Is this a tech test for the Unreal 5
I think
that Arc 2 is going to run
this
on?
is legitimately a tech test. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
How can you
Why
charge
charge
for that?
$45 for a tech test?
Oh man,
Are you
people
running
don't.
that low on money.
People seem kind of upset in the comments here, like on the reviews.
Dude, it's 6 out of 10. Apparently, it doesn't even work half the time. Sometimes
Dang.
with certain mods that are considered like crucial. There's called the S Plus mod, which is like pretty much added on every non-official server, and it triples the amount of buildable things. Like you can, instead of building a whole wall, you can build like a quarter-sized wall, and all these other things. And so like apparently the game crashes with loading that kind of shit. So I think this is a tech test. I think it's a tech test for modders and stuff so that they can get their shit ready to go when Arc 2 does come out. But the weird thing is like how much of a kick to the balls is it going to be when you pay $45 for this and Arc 2 comes out like a year or two,
Seems pretty steep. Yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
The thing is, Arc nerds are those nerds that will pay $45 for it. Like I know Cricket Soldier's like counting his money. He's like, I got the money right here. Let me see those dinosaur testicles.
It's like, hey guys, we're gonna go in a new direction. We're gonna use a brand new engine. We need play testers. So if you could just give us $45 to do it for
Yeah.
untold
That's like
amount.
me, like, hey,
It's
I
a
just
weird
robbed
move,
you.
man.
Give me more money so I can give you your wallet back.
Yeah. How about $45 or whatever, $20, and then those $20 come off the total fee of Arc 2 when it comes out, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, maybe
why not?
something.
Get
Have
creative,
something-
man. Jesus Christ.
I want to
think I
read
would
what their
probably pay for
statement
this.
was, though. Because they had to have been like, "Hey, this is." I just want to hear what they said from their perspective. Like, is it really a tech test? How are they going to support this for a long period of time?
I have no clue. What wouldn't surprise me though is if somehow you did get a discount on the second one, or this game became the second one somehow, like they combined maps or something. But apparently, Arc 2 is actually supposed to have a story and not just be run around, tame dinosaurs, and bonk people. Like, so we'll see.
I don't know.
Very strange. Okay,
Very strange.
Very strange.
cool. Bobby, highlights.
Sorry. One fucking recommendation. I tamed a bird. I named it Poopy Butt, and then the game crashed. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I like how that was a recommend too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
These are games we have been playing. Bobby, you played Super Nintendo World? What?
No, I went to Super Nintendo World. This is the new exhibit, kind of new area that they have over at Universal Studios. And I've been meaning to check it out. And 2 weeks ago, I went over there for Halloween Horror Nights. a lot of fun. But what was great was that Super Nintendo World was open during that event, but everyone was busy doing the Halloween Horror Night stuff.
Nice.
So I got right in.
There you go.
There isn't really a whole lot in Nintendo World. There's the ride that's kind of like the big draw, and it's a Mario Kart ride, and it's done really well. It's actually like a video game. They're doing that a lot more with these rides these days, like the new Star Wars rides at Disneyland. But this one, you put on these VR goggles, and wherever you look, you've got four people in a cart, and wherever you look, you can see like all these. It's like augmented reality. You see like Mario Kart taking place, and you can shoot using your steering wheel, and you aim with your eyes. So like you look wherever you want to shoot, and it's actually like a competitive game between you and the other people in your little cart. So
Oh.
you go through the ride. There's like all these things that happen, and there's lots of cool stuff that's all built up around you, like it's physically there. But then there's all this VR stuff. So at the end, you see like who got the high score. What's funny is, so I was in the cart, and I don't think anyone in the cart realized till about halfway through what you were supposed to do. And I don't know if there's like they need to explain to you, or if it might be explained while you're standing in line. But because I got in there while Halloween Horror Nights was going on, there was no line, so I just
Oh yeah,
walked
yeah, yeah.
straight through.
That's exactly what it is, dude. All these longer
Yeah.
all these longer rides now. Yeah, they have some sort of like meeting room where they,
Yeah. There's like a
video
staging
player.
area. Yeah, that
Yeah,
they
they
bring you
brief
into
you.
first, and then and the line actually was amazing. Like that was almost one of the not better
The
than the ride
features.
itself, but it was like really cool because you feel like you're in Bowser's castle. It's crazy. I was kind of sad that I walked through it so quick, but the whole area, I mean, they do a really good job. You feel like you're in like Mario from like Super Nintendo. There's some other stuff in the area too. There's like a restaurant where you get like specialized
I was
food.
about to ask, did you try the food?
No, well, I tried food at another place. They had like a Chucky themed barbecue place that I went to.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah,
Hell
I mean, the
dude.
food looks cool, and you're like, it's cool. It's like a a murder hot dog or something, but it doesn't taste that
It's a
great.
murder
So
dog, Bobby. It's a murder
yeah,
dog.
it's a murder dog. But
What makes it a murder dog? Is it cut in half or something, and that's it? Got some ketchup on it.
no, dude, you got to look up the names. They're kind of funny. It was like they use the ketchup a lot, and it looks like it's splattered with blood. But yeah, and then they had a cookie that was shaped like a knife. I was
Bobby,
surprised though, like being at Halloween Horror Nights or at Universal Studio, like it felt like Nintendo had kind of taken over that area. Because whenever you go to Universal Studios, everyone's walking around in like shirts from movies, and especially on the Horror Nights, they've got like all the scary shirts on and stuff. But there were so many people wearing Mario or Nintendo stuff, and they sell that stuff there too. You get like the hat that's like the mushroom head or whatever, and like so many people are wearing that. I was
That
kind of
kind of
surprised.
that's what happened with Disneyland and the Star Wars stuff, though. Like, and trust me, I love it. It's fucking awesome. I don't know if you guys have been to it, but like the fact that you can just you just instantly transported to Star Wars land, and you're like, oh my god, this is so cool.
Yeah.
One day before I die.
not Christian though. Not
You
Christian.
can you can now buy your own droid. And
Yeah, you
very
assemble
Oh,
it.
it's like a build.
Yeah,
it's like
and build a
3 feet
lightsaber.
tall. Yeah,
That's pretty exciting.
it's like a full size R2D2.
Ooh.
Hey,
Yeah.
so Bobby, I heard that there's kind of like a meta game within the area where you collect something, and then you
Yeah.
get enough of them, and then you can go to Bowser's Castle or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that and didn't really look up what to do or how to play it, but yeah, there's some sort of like AR game where you have to go to different areas and collect things, and I don't know if it's like a
So,
Pokemon Go.
What were you dressed up
I
as,
know.
dude?
Of course, dude, I was not dressed.
Bobby!
He wore a T-shirt that had a
Imagine Bobby's
skull
like
on it, dude. A
Waluigi.
very
He's like,
tiny
"Wah!"
skull.
I'm just, being, okay. I thought maybe.
No, but
Apparently,
I thought there was like
apparently-
a second ride, Bobby, or something. It's like
There's
I
like
don't know.
carnival games around there. There's a few
Okay.
carnival games in that
Oh.
area, but there's really only one ride. And then there's the restaurant, and there's a lot of places that are like meant for you to like take photos, for social media and stuff. But it's kind of confusing getting in and out of that place too. But the exit, of course, is like a big pipe that you have to walk through. I thought that was funny, but it was good, man. And I also did a lot of the Halloween Horror Night stuff. They had a Last of Us haunted house,
Oh,
or whatever they
dude,
call
How's
those
that?
that
types.
sounds awesome.
It was good. You know, I haven't played that game, so of course I'm not going to get all the references. But they had that violin, or like what's that instrument the guy plays? A little guitar. That's very you know, we heard him play when we went to the Hollywood Bowl. The
Oh
guy who
yeah,
does
yeah,
the
yeah.
music.
What's the name of that?
Joel
Yeah, I don't
plays the
know.
guitar.
He's
No,
got like
it's
a
a
little guitar or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a special Manda
it's a
something or other.
yeah, it's like Amanda something. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that music was playing, and the line was super long, but I'd say it was one of the better ones. It was pretty good, but it was just funny to be in line and a lot of people like, so what is this, like a video game? I don't know. I've never played it, and they're like, no,
There's
like a
also a
lot of people.
fucking award-winning show. Like,
Yeah,
watch
yeah. A
that.
lot of people were talking
Yeah, that's true.
like they've
Yeah.
seen the show, but they haven't seen they haven't played the game.
Bobby, and then
But
you
yeah,
turn
dude.
around to them in line and you're like, I have a gaming podcast. I haven't played the game or watched the show.
My name's Robert Digital. Do you want to see my podcast?
Well,
Puts
I
his
mean, my
phone in
girlfriend,
their
of course,
face.
is asking me about this, so I told her that yeah, it was it's based off a game, and I'm trying to explain to her it's like zombies, but they're, I don't know, infected by mushrooms or something. Some of the costumes were really good in this one. I think that's why I liked the this haunted house so
Was it
much.
scary? Was it pretty scary?
I mean, yeah, you know, those things, like people just jump out at you and go boo, and you know, you go ah, and then you keep walking on. I mean, it's just like, you know, it's a haunted house, man. It's
Why were you there, Bobby? If it's this look, like why even go, dude? Just
Why did we pay for you to
just
be
watch
there,
a video on YouTube, dude. It's just the same. It's a thing.
there's so
It
many,
goes.
dude. Everybody was
Boo,
filming there.
and
So
then
many people. That's how they
boo,
go, dude.
and then
Yeah.
It's just the scare economy, Anna.
Sniper, what was it like? Well, it exists.
It's
a thing
there.
people do.
I saw it.
But
It's
I got to
cool.
tell you though, because this one was so crowded. So this one and the Stranger Things one, the Stranger Things one had like a 3-hour wait. I didn't go on that one. That was the
Damn.
most popular one by far, and also a few other ones. But this one, because the line was so long, and they were shoveling in so many people through this and just trying to get the line moving. So it was kind of like, when they're crowded, you're not going to get the scare. You know, they're going to scare the person in front of you, and then they're going to wait a little bit and hide, then jump out at the next person, or they have areas where they can run over to a different spot and scare someone. But then I went through another one that nobody was going through, zero wait. It was like, I don't know, it was like Monsters of like South America or something. It was like a really specific haunted house. And, you know, I'm thinking it's going to be like La Llorona or something like that. No, it's not even like Hispanic stuff that you've like heard of or they've made shitty movies of. No, it's just like some deep cuts from like Argentina or something. I've never heard of any of these monsters. Anyway, no line. So I go through that one, and it's just like me and my girlfriend in there, and we're getting like every single scare. Like some of them are getting
that's
threw off.
awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, man. And then I stayed way too late. I didn't get home till 1 o'clock in the morning, which was way too late for me. But
When Bobby was
I had a
driving
good
me to
time.
DLG Con, he was telling the story. He's like, "Yeah, I got home way too late, 1:30. It was insane." And then I'm like, "Let's play the Star Wars deck building game, or the Star Wars deck battler. It's only a 20-minute game. We're in and out, quick adventure." It took like an hour and a half, and I looked at the clock, and it's 1 or 1:30, and I'm like, "Dude, this is as late. This is bad for you. This is
I had
bad."
two like pretty rough weekends back to back, man. Yeah, my sleeping schedule is all off, but it's all right. I had some good times. That's what it's all about.
The instrument is called a Ron Rocco, by the way. The little thing he plays, apparently.
Ron Rocco. All right, we were way off.
It's due to his love affair with traditional Argentinian instruments, so Google tells me.
A couple of things. So I guess you get these whatever doohickeys at Super Nintendo World, and if you collect 3 of them, you can go to Bowser Jr.'s castle, and in there there's a game called Bowser Jr. Shadow Showdown, and I guess it looks like I posted it in Discord in the crew. If you guys want to look at it, it looks like your shadow is superimposed on a curtain, and then things are falling from the sky, and you use your your shadow to pop them with your hands or something like that. It's kind of like a Fruit Ninja type feeling,
Oh,
but with
okay.
your with your body. Looks pretty cool. Looks like it should be some fun. But yeah, I like secret things like that, even if everybody knows about it.
Okay.
All right. So what do you guys got? Didn't we already talk about Two Strikes?
Yeah, but I think Emilio wanted to talk about his experience with it.
Okay.
playing it.
No, I already talked about. I talked about that. So where are we? I'm lost.
Super
I don't
Mario
know.
Bros.
We're gonna go from Super Mario Bros. To Bobby not being scared, apparently, or being scared, but somehow not feeling emotion at the same time. To Super Mario Brothers Wonder. So this is the newest 2D side scroller Super Mario Brothers. It's in a new kingdom, which is nice. It's not in the Mushroom Kingdom; it's in the Flower Kingdom, and every single level in this game has what are called wonder seeds and wonder flowers. And what wonder flowers do completely transform the level. They can make the level super hard. They can make them super easy. The thing is, you need them to essentially afford things in the game to unlock more levels to proceed through to the final boss, which is Bowser, obviously. One of the cool wonder flower moments is that you hit the wonder flower, all these pipes come up out of the ground, and you start running, and piranha plants start chasing you, and they start singing in the background as well, and they sing like this funny little tune, and you're like running away from these piranha plants, and some of them are giant, and what ends up happening is it's not hard to survive. It's a Super Mario Brothers game, but it's just really entertaining because you just find your head bobbing. You're like do 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 do, like you're like listening it the whole time. Um, the song slaps. It's pretty good. So far, I am about 70% of the way through the game. What's nice is the game does tell you like how far you are based on like how many levels you've beaten. You can just look at the world map and it's like this is how many is left. What's nice is that if you have a 3 or 4 year old like myself, there's an easy mode for the game, which is interesting. If you play as Yoshi or Nabbit, they do not take damage, and uh, they do not get powered up by power ups, but they also have their own abilities anyway. Like obviously Yoshi can eat people.
That's awesome. What a great
Yeah.
little like a sidekick. Yeah.
Yeah, what's really cool too is that if you want, if you're the parent and you have like the midget with you, uh, they can ride Yoshi, and so you can run around with them on your back, and they can throw fireballs, and you can eat stuff, and you can make them feel like they're participating. Um, I like this game a lot. It's very very entertaining. It's very very fun to play. I haven't had like a bad time with it. There's not been a bad level. All the levels are unique. Almost every single level has a new enemy in it or enemy type in it, which is really interesting to come up with that many different enemies. There's a fucking enemy that when it shoots its own beak, and it's a bird, and then the beak turns into a straw, and the straw can be used as a bridge, but it dissolves for standing on top of it for too long. But there's another one where it's like a little mummy, and then he has like a little zipper on his back, and if you touch the zipper and you run away from him, it unravels him and it kills him.
Hmm.
So the enemy types are very very unique as far as design goes, and especially each level in each area. There's 6 areas technically. There's the one you start off in. There's like a desert one. There's like a cloud one. There's like a mushroom swamp one. And then there's like the volcanic one. And then I think there's a 6th one, which is like Bowser's area. I just haven't gotten there yet, obviously. You're not locked into playing the game like area, like you go to the snow area, then you go to this area. Like once you like get a certain amount of wonder seeds, you can go to whatever area you want.
It's kind of like the stars in Super Mario World, right? You have to get a certain amount
Correct.
before you can
Correct.
move on. But so just passing the levels without getting the Wonder Seed is useless.
No, it's not. So every main level. So here's another thing that's interesting about it as well, because I've given this game a 9.5 out of 10.
Damn.
As far as 2D side scrollers go.
What does it have to do for the last 0.5?
I
Suck
think
your dick.
I can't give it a 10 until I'm done with it. Let's go with
Okay.
that.
So it's not the game's fault.
No, it's because I'm not done with it yet.
All right. I think we're going to. Well, she don't listen to this. I'm going to get this for Sam for Christmas.
Oh, dude, she'll love it because you can play up to 4 players. What's nice is if you die as one of the players, you turn into a little ghost and you can shake your remote or you can press A. And if you touch another player, you don't lose a life. And so sometimes like Leslie will be lagging behind and I'll jump over and she'll die because like collision or something. And she's like, no, wait for me. And I'm like, no, I don't care if we lose a life. But
Brutal, dude.
So all 3 of you are playing?
Yeah. I mean, usually it's me and Leslie play when after Vivian goes to sleep so we can actually progress through the game and figure out more levels that are easier for Vivian to play. Because each zone has levels from anywhere between 1 star of difficulty and 5 star of difficulty. And fucking 5-star difficulty levels are pretty fucking hard. But the thing is, you don't have to play the 5-star levels. If you're like a younger kid and you're playing Super Mario, you don't have to play the 5-star levels. So like the way the economy works is that it'll be 10 wonder seeds to get into the sand zone, right? And there'll be 7 levels in the zone before it, and each level gives 2 wonder seeds. So you don't have to play every level if you don't want to. But it's usually like suggested or inclined to get the wonder flowers because, like, for example, another one of the unique moments is that you can turn into a slime. And you can jump on top of the roof and stick to the roof or stick to whatever surface you want. And you can like dash and all this other stuff while you're the slime. Another one is you go into over the top mode where you're now looking at your characters from over the top, but the world is still horizontal. So you're walking in a different in a different direction, in a different on a different plane, but everything's still there. And so I can talk about all the different levels and all the different stuff. The last thing I'll mention is the new power-ups that are in the game are really interesting. There's one that turns you into an elephant. I think there's a new power-up every single
Area.
zone. There's a drill power-up now, which is interesting. There's of course the fire flower. There's a bubble flower now that lets you throw bubbles. The bubbles are fucking clutch because you can jump on them as like an extra platform. Sorry, I missed one very important thing that this is brand new to this game that makes it different from all the other Marios as well. There's a badge system where your badges give you abilities. So for example, the first badge you get is if you wall jump, you can then double jump. There are other badges like if you're in a water level, you can dolphin kick and go super fast. I think there's 30 badges. And
how do you get them?
Different shit, huh?
How do you get them?
You buy them or you get them awarded to you during certain challenge stages.
You buy them with wonder seeds?
No, you buy them with wonder coins, which you just find throughout the level. You know how there's normal, Mario coins that are yellow? There's these purple ones and they're everywhere. So you're never not going to afford something.
Is this $70, Nick?
I think so.
Okay.
You love it?
Yeah,
though?
it is. Yeah. I love it. I would definitely rebuy this game and replay it. We are going to take it to my sister-in-law's house when we go over there for Thanksgiving so they can play it as well. It's a blast.
Only
Great.
9.5 out of 10 though, Nintendo. Don't get
right now.
Don't let it go to your head.
It'll most
don't
likely
let
be
it go
10 out of 10.
What is I wonder what Metacritic says.
Risk, guys. We played Risk at DLG Con, and wow, the original game of Risk is a lot more fun than I remember. I remember whole family, the 6 of us, around this fucking table. It was like a worse version of Monopoly because it involved like backstabbing, and it wasn't just like running down the math, right? Like. You have hope. If someone has a string of really good rolls, they can outlast a huge army. So the game can go on for way too long. But because of that horrible experience growing up, I've tried other Risks. Game of Thrones Risk has a card and mission system that ends the game really fast. Earth 20 to 10 AD Risk has water territories and the moon and a tech tree. So there's this other like accoutrement to make the Risk more fun. And Lord of the Rings Risk just ends when the ring gets to Mordor. It's a set amount of time, and the game always ends on like the 9th round or something. So it's just who has the best position at that time. None of
I
that.
don't. Is it everybody's task to get the ring there, and whoever gets the ring?
No, the ring is like a neutral. It's good versus evil, and it's up to 6 players. It's actually a really fun version of Risk, but the ring is like a neutral party, and you can do things that affect the movement one way or the other. Yeah, it's cool, but nothing compares. These people have tried to take Risk, and nothing compares to when I got 3 cards and got 42 reinforcements in one turn in classic Risk. Nothing compares to the feeling of watching Bobby's crestfallen face as I invade his lands. I won. I won the game of Risk against 4 other, worthy opponents, but in the end, they weren't worthy enough because the card mechanics are insane, Bobby, right? Like, you'll start off with 15 reinforcements, 30 reinforcements. Eventually, the person who just hands in the last deck of cards pretty much just wins the game. I don't see how they couldn't win the game. So,
Yeah, and what I'm curious is, was it always like that? Because I haven't played Risk since I was a teenager, so I don't know if it was always like that, but that feels like something they would add in at a later stage to kind of speed up the game. Because the other thing is too, we had 4 people playing Risk and we were done in a couple hours. And I remember
yeah.
these games taking
No
days.
fucking way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that game would stay on the kitchen table, which is how it was supposed to be played at DLG Con, but, they weren't expecting my Napoleonic tactics.
Also,
the-
don't discount yourselves, guys. You guys are far more sophisticated players than you were when you were children.
Oh, that's true.
So
It's not an incredibly sophisticated game though. Like you just like invade, roll the dice kind of thing. It's
Speak for
not-
yourself, Bobby.
that's what I'm saying, though, Bobby. Like, probably when you were a kid, you never like held back. You would just attack all the time, or there's no strategy. And now you're thinking about it. Yeah, I saw. When I looked at the board, I was like, "How's Bobby not going to win this?" He had a hemisphere in a 4-player game. He had one whole hemisphere, and then
Yeah.
Christian was just biding his time and multiplying like rabbits down in Australia. I think it was. Was it? Yeah. No, Africa. You had all of Africa, and you were just multiplying.
Bobby never
something like that.
he didn't let me get it the whole time, but I came for it in the end. I came for the whole world. Yeah, it was fun, but I do kind of next DLG Con, I would love to bring. I have Game of Thrones Risk behind me. I think that's the funnest one because that also has a mechanic that basically ends the game in like 4 rounds, so it only takes a couple hours, but it's still a cool level of strategy, and it's something that I feel like anyone can pick up. Like anyone who doesn't know Risk can play Game of Thrones Risk because it's more similar to, I don't know, checkers or something. Like the actual combat is very simple. Okay.
I think I might have a version, by the way, of Risk for you that you really might like. Have you ever heard of Risk Legacy?
No.
So it's a version of Risk. It's an official version. You can buy it. It came out in 2011. I played it at language school. It is a version of Risk that is intended to be played over days and days of game. Like you were supposed to make moves and then and like leave the board and go whatever. Check out these kind of features in this fucking board game. So everybody advances in like tech throughout the game, and you can get nukes. And if you nuke a place and you destroy someone's civilization with nukes, they become a new faction where they are like radioactive zombies and like horrors.
Okay.
And it's very difficult to get rid of someone, but the game is made to be played over days and weeks. And there's a bunch of different win conditions. It's almost like fucking Civ in real life, but a little
Yeah, it
less.
sounds like a Civ game.
Intuitive. It's really fun. If you're a hardcore Risk player, I would strongly suggest playing it. I think you can actually play it on Tabletop Simulator. So
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's such a good fucking man. That Tabletop Simulator exists, and we can just try any board game before like dropping $70 on it in real life. Like we can try it digitally and see if it holds up.
you can buy the official version on now Tabletop Simulator has official partnerships with board games, and you can play the official versions of board games on Tabletop Simulator
Digitally, yeah. Right. Yeah.
digitally,
Okay, cool.
without paying. I mean, paying for them, you have to pay for the license.
Okay.
Before you would just buy. I mean, you would just download an
Mods.
asset pack and play Warhammer on the tabletop or whatever.
All
Yeah.
I'm saying, Bobby, Star Wars Rebellion, Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds, any strategic game we play, any strategic game we play, it seems you can't come to this side of the table. Chess, you can't beat me, Bobby. What? Come on.
Oh man, I don't know if you want to call what you did on Risk strategy.
Yeah, that was pretty broken.
Hey, Sniper. What's your card game? The Good Deck Builder one, the Star Wars one.
I always call it the Star Wars deck building game, but it's not called that.
Yeah,
I think
don't think
it is. I think that's what it said on the box.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, Star Wars, the deck building game. Sorry,
okay.
that is what it's called. Yeah.
According to the video, our DLG video, is that up now? Do we have a new
Yes, it's up. Yep.
rated G version that we put out? Cool.
Bobby put the sensors up.
All right, cool. You can catch that on our YouTube, which you can find at dlgaming.net. But what was I going to say? Oh, everybody, like 3 people brought up that game and how they had beat you at your own game. Do you ever win at that game?
Honestly, not that often against Rianne. She kind of probably wins 80% of the time, 85% of the time. So.
And then Marco beat you, and then
everyone was beating me.
Yeah, and then Scram TX said he beat you, and did Bobby beat you?
I don't actually remember. No, he can't. He can't.
I'm not making fun of you, dude. I'm just saying it's such a testament to how much you love that game. If you just get mollywopped every time and you just keep bringing it back, dude. That's a love, dude.
I love that game. Yeah. I was happy for people to beat me. You know, I saw the joy in their eyes. It was good.
It's like the person who invented the pet rock. He's like, it's going to sell one day, dude. One day this is going to take off.
And a bunch of super high hippies bought 1 billion of them.
Yeah.
I had a classmate who had a pet rock, and he was ruthlessly bullied. It was bad. He also had a ponytail, and people would pull it. Oh, it was Paul. If you're out there, I'm sorry, dude. I'll never forget you. Risk of Rain returns.
Not Risk. Risk of Rain returns. So I will tell you the lineage of Risk of Rain returns the way that I understand it. A guy, one single person bought Game Maker on Steam. It used to be $99, like, I don't know, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. And you could make games on it, or like pixel-based games. I don't know much more about it, except for a few games did come out of it, like 2 or 3 games. Some might even say a genre came out of it. But this guy made Risk of Rain, and it was maybe my first roguelike ever. And the graphics aren't all that to look at, or weren't originally. And it's all the same characters and a lot of the same items as Risk of Rain 2, if you've played that. And he made it on Game Maker and it just exploded on Steam. It was a runaway success. And then after that, he makes Hopo Games with the money, and he makes Risk of Rain 2, which was a gigantic success. And then I think he probably went back to the original Risk of Rain and did everything he couldn't technically do the first time. And so we're getting an HD remake with a bunch more bells and whistles where the first game couldn't do. And so it's funny because I bought it for $11. It's not expensive. It's not a cash grab. And I played it for like 30 minutes and I was like, okay, it's Risk of Rain. I'm just gonna return it and then just tell everybody it's Risk of Rain. And then I put it in my Steam Deck and I start playing, and like 3 hours later, I was like, fuck, it's hooks in me again. Just for people who have never played a Risk of Rain, there's a race going on between a timer that's counting down, and every time 5 minutes passes, the game gets harder. So it goes from very easy to easy, and then so on and so on until it gets to insane levels of difficulty. But in that time, you are either completing the level or hunting around to get items to get stronger. It's up to you. There is no right answer because there's a lot of RNG. So sometimes you look around for items, you get a bunch of great shit, you get super powerful, and you have a great run. Sometimes you look around for items, you don't find shit, and the game keeps getting harder and harder, and then you get outpaced and then destroyed. Sometimes you go straight to the boss, you kill it really easy, you go to the second level, and it's still very easy on the second level. So now you can explore more than you would have otherwise because you're stronger than the second level. So there's different strategies you can go with, but I don't think anybody would ever stick to like one strategy. You have to kind of read the level and go by that. Yeah.
Are you good at this game, Emilio? I suck.
He is.
Well,
He is.
I'm pretty good at the second one, I would say. That's the main reason I didn't want to get back into this, because I was like, I don't want to get good at this again. Like, I don't have the time to get good at this again. I suck. I'm so bad right now. I haven't even unlocked one character. I haven't got to the third level. But do I want to? I don't know. I fucking love the engineer in this game so much. So much. So yeah, I kind of want to unlock the engineer. It's the formula, man. It's fucking fantastic. And that's what great let's hear it for fucking indies, man. New ideas come out of there. This is an old new idea, but like, yeah, no fucking AAA developer was going to come up with a timer that times goes down as you power up, you know. Really cool.
All right. I know the answer to this. All right. Emilio and Bobby. I don't know if Sniper, if you played this game, but Team Fortress 3 releases, let's say hypothetically on Friday, right? This coming Friday. What class are you playing first when you launch the game?
NG.
Probably medic.
Yeah,
right,
NG.
Cool.
And then we would.
That means I have to work with Bobby.
We're both playing support. We'd never see each other, basically.
Yeah. Sniper, what about you? Do you ever play Team Fortress or no?
Only with Bobby and Emilio one time.
Oh,
Did you have a good time?
I had a fun time, but you guys were like really good at the game, and I was like, "What does the spy do?"
He dies really.
It is not a
easily.
game that you can just hop into anymore. Like if you're going into that, you're like, "What is the spy?"
He's the ultimate version of a glass cannon. He can. Kill
I remember
people with one hit.
that was like 6 years ago, and I was like, I never played this game, Team Fortress 2, and you guys were like, what are you talking about? I think at one time Emilio told me he had like 500 hours as the engineer in Team Fortress 2, like very specifically. Yeah, it was all right, I guess.
Heavy scout and soldier. That's it. That's all I can play.
All right.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
The movie.
The movie. Yeah. So have you guys seen the movie yet?
No.
But
Okay. I mean, it's on streaming now, so I figured more people might have saw it. But they made a really big deal about this when I was at Universal Studios. Apparently, the movie is doing a lot of business. It's doing very well. And of course, I had to check it out. It's all right, man. I mean, I really wonder if or what the story was for Five Nights at Freddy's, because I played the first two games, but they didn't really bother too much with the story then, I think. But I think in the later games they developed the story, and I don't know if that's what they used for the movie or not. But when I watched the movie, I was kind of surprised about how much groundwork they were laying at the beginning, like how much of a story they're trying to build. There's all these things going on. This guy had his little brother abducted when he was a kid, never found out why. Ties into the story later. But because you play the first game or the second game and it's just like, monsters jump out and boo and scare you, and that's about it. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of impressed, but at the same time, it kind of I feel like they didn't stick the landing on the movie. I know people are going to watch this movie, people that have played the game and absolutely love it, because it feels like they've really tried to make it for the people that played the game. But I feel like whenever you do that, the movie itself is just really not that great. For instance, Five Nights at Freddy's. So it was a little long. The movie was about 100 minutes long. And it kind of felt like they didn't need every single night at Freddy's. Like, could have been 3.
Three nights at Freddy's.
But it is the movie's called Five Nights at Freddy's, so he's got to go back there 5 times. He's got to spend the night there 5 times, otherwise the nerds on the internet are going to get mad. But yeah, I mean, it was all right. Really, the biggest joy for me was seeing Matthew Lillard. I mean, haven't seen that guy since like late '90s, early 2000s. Most people will know him as the Goofy Killer from Scream, not Hot Boyfriend Skeet Ulrich, but the other one.
What?
And he just kind of yes.
Oh, sorry, Bobby. I just want to know
Comment.
how this movie compares to Auntie Lee's Meat Pies.
Oh wow, it's so funny because in chat people are voting on something, and one of the options is meat pies. And then last
Yeah.
night I watched a really terrible movie called Auntie Lee's Meat Pies. I mean, I knew what I was getting into, but like I'm watching this last night, and I'm like, I said something to my girlfriend about it being like even worse than most of the movies I tend to pick out, which are pretty bad. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, they were both about the same for me.
Oh shit.
when I was at Universal Studios, they had the characters, the animatronics, like the actual puppets that they used, and they looked incredible.
Oh, that's
they're from
cool,
the
dude.
Jim Henson Muppet Workshop or whatever. So of course they're going to look great, but in person they looked really impressive. I don't know. And I thought this movie was going to be geared a little more towards children, like a little more G-rated, but it doesn't have any like blood and guts or anything, but it does have like child abduction in it. So it is kind of like heavy. I don't know.
Without looking at the numbers, how much do you think this made, Sniper?
Me? I don't. At least millions of dollars.
God damn you, Bobby. What do you think?
He's already
What
looked
do
at
you
the
mean?
numbers.
Domestic or
International.
international? Right now, it's been out for a couple 100 million.
Right now, international and domestic put together is 251 million. You know what the budget was for this movie?
Nailed it, Bobby.
Budget
what was the
20
budget?
million. 20 million.
20 million.
Jesus.
Dude, are you telling me Auntie Lee's Meat Pies could have had critical worldwide $1 million acclaim? Because it's exactly.
It's safe to say that there's going to be a second one of these, and probably a third, and probably a fourth, and probably a fifth.
Does he spend more nights? Is it 6 nights at Freddy's, or does it go 5 nights at Freddy's too?
I don't know. I'm really curious what happens in the other Five Nights at Freddy's now. I'm kind of interested in the lore here because I don't know who the cupcake guy was. That was something new for me. And I don't know. There's a lot that I'm missing out because of that. But I'm really wondering if it ended up being like the bad guy in the movie was actually the bad guy in the video game. Like it really has that history. But I don't know. And you know what's interesting too? The guy who created the game, he had a writer credit on the movie, which I don't know if he was actually.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, there was like 5 writers on the movie, so I don't know if they just kind of gave it to him because he was, he created the game. Sometimes they give you like an executive producer role or something like that, which means you don't really do anything, but they're giving you credit anyway,
And you also get
maybe
money
getting some-
usually.
Yeah, but I don't know if he was actually involved in writing the script. I'd be interested. I'm surprised you guys haven't seen this yet.
I'm not a big scary movie fan.
It's not that
in
scary.
general. Yeah, I figured. As bad as it sounds, I like horror movies that are based on like reality, like The Strangers, which is I think the all-time best scary movie. But Five Nights at Freddy's kind of doesn't really like call me. I'd watch it if everyone was tasked to watch it, but I don't know.
yeah. I think we should all watch Auntie Lee's Meat Pies. Honestly, look at the cover art for it. Just look it up before you don't judge it. Okay.
What is it? Auntie what?
Auntie
Dude, that
Lee's
movie
Meat
was-
Pies.
Oh my god, you keep bringing it up.
Hey,
Dude.
it was
I gotta
made the
talk
year I was
about it.
born.
Dude, it was made in '92, but it feels like an '80s movie.
Is this a porno?
It feels like a porno without the sex. Like it's just got really bad acting and like all these setups. Like you think something's going to happen, but then it doesn't. They don't have. Well, no, some of them do have sex, but then they chop them up and eat them. But it's got Mr. Miyagi, which I don't think a lot of people know that guy doesn't have a Japanese accent. Like that's not how he sounds.
Yeah, he's just a
He's just
Sounds
a
like
dude.
us.
Yeah, but he plays the sheriff in this movie, and he's
Pat?
just walking around. Yeah, Pat Marico, Marico,
Something like that, man.
something like that. Yeah,
There's 3 covers for this thing. What the fuck?
I'm going to watch this. Me and Rianne are going to watch this. We'll get back to... and Nick, I think you and Leslie should
Five
watch
Nights
it.
at Freddy's or Auntie
No,
Lee's Meat
no,
Pies?
forget that. Auntie Lee's meat pies all night. Not five.
You're telling me I have to convince my wife to watch a horror softcore porn? I don't know if I can get away with that, but probably.
Oh, whatever. Okay, guys, it's the sound. It's the guess that sound. What is the guess that sound?
Hey!
I'm gonna play a sound from a video game, and you, the listeners, are going to guess. The winner will get a Steam gift card, and every week that the sound doesn't get guessed, we're gonna put $5 in the pot. Guys, fund your next video game adventure through us just by sending a guess in. You can email pixelshitshow@gmail.com to guess. That's the only way to get your guesses in. Don't DM me on Discord. I mean, you can, but it's not going to work. You're not going to get in the queue. Patrons get 2 guesses. So if you're a patron, just make sure you're emailing from the same email that you used to sign up on Patreon. At random, I'll choose an answer. I'm putting them all in a spreadsheet. Every week, I'll choose an answer. And Bobby, Emilio, and Nick will get opportunities to help you at intervals. I'll ask them some questions, and they'll be able to narrow down the search criteria to help you. Because I'm looking for a specific answer. I want what the sound is, what game it's from, and what is happening. Okay? So I'm going to play the sound now, and I think this is kind of an easy one. So Nick, Bobby, Emilio, if you know it, keep it to yourself, okay? Did you hear that? That's all you get, okay? I think you might have an idea. Pixelshitshow@gmail.com to guess. I'm waiting for him. Waiting for those guesses.
I think I know what it is.
Everybody's thinking they know what it is. That's how they get you. But yeah, I'm not gonna say more than that.
I have no idea. It sounds pretty generic to me.
It does sound generic, but I think it's is it a free game?
This just in, Emilio's gonna do a we're gonna break in here. We're gonna start it off at $25. I'll
Whoa.
cover the rest of it. And then we'll go $5 every week. Who cares about $5, dude? Nobody cares. We're gonna be fucking 3 months to get to fucking $20, dude.
I'm shocked. Oh, it's
ridiculous.
shocking. It's a huge prize pot, guys. $25. Are you kidding?
Don't think Emilio's being fucking generous. He just writes it off as a tax write-off. It's the man's dollars. Who
He is being generous. Emilio has a generous heart, everyone who doesn't think that's
Yeah, a little too generous, dude.
little
Fuck
too
yeah,
generous
I am
sometimes.
at DLG Con, man.
I'm writing up a fucking stand-up bit about Emilio's generous heart.
Yeah.
Oh, no, dude. DLG Con didn't... Oh, man.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Bobby made it. Uncle Bob made it all better.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Okay, Emilio, do we have a sub?
Yeah, it's recycled. 63 months. I almost went dyslexia on you, but it was 63 months. That's our number one. Good luck catching up, everybody else. Maybe if you have, okay, this is how you get a little cheat. You open a new account. You have multiple subs, then you'll get 3 or 4 subs per week and catch up that way. That's the only way you're going to catch up. Right?
Yes. I just want to give you yes and energy, but I don't understand. Okay. Listener questions, Bobby. What do we got? These listeners.
We got a few of them. First one's coming from Burn Division. What's the time to hand job at DLG Con? How many did you have to give? Anybody tip you?
Geez.
Man,
So
that's between Emilio and his clients.
$20 is $20. It's what you make of it, man. I mean, yeah. I don't know what to say. I had a clever comeback earlier, and I totally forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, no.
All right.
I don't think there was
Alright,
many
next-
hand jobs given at DLG Con. I kind of want to dispel
probably
this
a
rumor.
couple.
DLG Con isn't a big orgy, folks. I'm sorry to... I don't know. If anyone out there who's listening is like, DLG Con, they always fuck each other. They're always naked. They're in the pool, I don't know, doing weird shit. No. We're having heartfelt moments, really. Right?
Yeah, you build relationships with people, man. It's like a little mini real world weekend. It's pretty fun.
You know what's cool this year is usually we go to dinner, but we canceled the dinner and just decided to play board games. And we had like fucking 10 people, 2 games of 5 or 2 games of 6 going on right next to each other, and just like everyone's game. And it was awesome.
It was
Such a good
really
time.
awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
If
of
you're
games.
if you want the time to hand job to actually be there, you got to be into like chunky nerds or stinky people or nice people that are kind at heart. I don't know. I'm naming a lot of different things here, but maybe a robot or a really
It's not
drunk
the
guy or a
vibe.
Canadian guy. It's not
T-
the vibe. No, it's,
TTHJ isn't the vibe. That's for when me and Emilio hang out one-on-one. That's private time.
that's the weekend before DLG con.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Next question from Saxos. Does DLG have an address? I can send you some candy from Norway.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Do we
Socialist
want to take candy from strangers?
Oh,
here.
I
But
was
the European, of course.
Wait,
Um,
that's Auntie Lee's meat pies. That's what she told me to do. She told me to always accept.
I swear, dude. I don't know why, but
We
I
should
feel
get a
like meat
PO
pie
box
is
or
just
something.
a really bad.
Yeah.
euphemism.
That might be-
No,
Maybe
we
send
don't.
me your
It's
address.
like the cloud, man. It's a collective of love that is untouchable and untraceable. DLG is love.
I'll send you Emilio's PO box. Don't worry about it, sexist.
Norwegian
I'm gonna-
candy.
I think that would be cool if people did have a way to send us stuff. So I'm gonna look into a PO box.
Oh,
There you go.
That'd be
That
rad.
I used to use that downtown postal fucking what do you call it? Post office, Bobby, the one that's near you. And it's fucking it's like one of the from the 50s, dude. You go in there, you go to a little brass
know.
box. It's cool.
Yeah, it's an old building.
Yeah. And
All right.
surrounded by homeless.
Yeah. What isn't down here? Last question from A Tom. What's the most awkward moment you guys had in Discord voice chat? I had a friend who was getting drunk during our 8-man raid that included 3 random people on Lost Ark. He started crying about his ex, dumping him overseas, and started vomiting, then fell asleep snoring. Well, that's pretty embarrassing, man.
I have a very similar story. So one day, me and my friends were playing Divinity: Original Sin. It's a pretty concise game. You can see who's playing it. It's not very a very watchable game. So like, if you see 4 people in a chat room and they're all playing a Divinity: Original Sin, you're not going to be like, oh, let me go join and talk to them, because they're paying attention. They're trying. Like you're paying attention to the story. You're paying attention to what your character does. It's a very in-depth, like involved game. One day, one of the guys that's on our Discord server, who is like a more fond friend of ours, like maybe 9-10 years ago, but he's kind of like just fallen onto his own path kind of in life. Well, he comes into the Discord chat obviously inebriated. Like we can tell within like 10 seconds that he's drunk. He proceeds to start crying and then starts blaming a bunch of different racial groups for all of his problems. And we're like,
oh my
oh
God, dude.
no, dude. And then he started talking about like,
Where were you
celebrities that
January
he-
26th? Start questioning.
26th.
You mean January 6th?
Oh, sorry, 6th. My bad.
But anyways,
Where were you
Canada's
on
20,
April 3rd?
20 days ahead.
anyways, we were like, whoa. And then we're like, how do we, avoid this situation? And eventually we just switched to just with that group, we just go into calls now. We don't join public chat rooms. We use our public chat rooms for like, WoW or like a game night or whatever, or something that like you don't have to be paying super hard attention to. Like you're not going to be in a random fucking open lobby playing like Tarkov and people talking to you. So that was a great time.
One time in Lost Ark, I was random and I joined this 8-man raid, and I ran into this person crying about his ex dumping him overseas, and I heard him vomiting, and then he fell asleep. It was pretty messed up.
It's funny because you guys keep telling the story of the guy that got wasted, but I'm usually the guy that got wasted, so it's a different perspective. Plus, I don't remember it, so at least I'm giving other people stories. Bobby, you made a video of me again being fucking completely wasted. That's somewhere.
God.
Where is
Yeah,
that?
I think
I saw
It says
that. Where is that?
it's called Emilio's Too Drunk to Play.
Yeah, I think I still have that too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is it 2 as in like the number 2 or no?
No, but we should
It's,
like.
Man.
There's certain
I-
ones we should just embed in the website, dude. Just like clickable
Yeah.
fucking
That-
thumbnails.
that-
you know,
Like Ray
that-
being
that
crushed
one.
by that
Classic.
rock.
Dude, the anti-Bobby commercial that Nick made, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's certain we should have like a video. Do we have a video
I
section?
can make
You click on
content. Just
videos
give me
and
a
it's
script.
just
It's
embedded.
not hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, while Bobby looks at the P.O. box, I'll look up getting the videos up, and inevitably he might do both things, but I'll at least try on the video first.
So I'm thinking about it
Well,
right now, right? So I was playing EverQuest at 18 and I'm 45. So I've been playing things on voice chat for almost 30
27
years. So there's been a lot of fucking crazy shit that's happened. One of them was I fell asleep during a raid in EverQuest. And EverQuest is not, you don't fuck around. If you die in that game, especially if you die in a dungeon, it is awful. It's a terrible thing. So I'm like, I'm just going to lay down while I'm waiting. And I fell asleep. You know, you play a game for 16 hours, that tends to happen. So I get a phone call on my wireless phone. That's not like a cell phone, guys. That's a phone that plugs into your wall that has like a no wire on it. So it rang and I was like, hello. And they're like, dude, we all got out of there. It's about to respawn. You've been asleep for 6 hours because the place respawns after 6 hours. So I wake up and I was like, oh shit. Because if I'm there alone, I can't get pulled out. There's only one instance of every dungeon. I can't get pulled out until another raid worthy crew goes in there and clears the dungeon. So I basically can't get out. There wasn't very many of this place raid worthy places. So I log in and I realize I'm in the Fire Giants Cathedral. And as soon as I log in, the first thing, open my eyes, 2 Fire Giants. They're on the other side of the room and they start running towards me. Doom, 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 doom. But as soon as I already knew that I was going to gate out of there, which is teleport home, like down scroll. And I'm fucking doing my magic and fucking doom, doom, doom. And I disappeared right before, because there's a like a fucking reach back animation before they pound your face in. So they reach up and I fucking disappeared, dude. And I fucking went back to that shit. It was like the strongest shot of coffee ever, going from sleeping to like almost being dead in the worst place in the game that I was obsessed with at the time.
Dude, every time you tell a fucking EverQuest story, it's like the best story, the best
It's
game.
a different. It's a different fucking.
It's
world.
a different thing, dude.
different
There's
world.
no game that has the involvement.
I may have something to challenge you.
Like
now,
EVE
by the way,
Online
for
maybe is similar, but
No,
No, dude, because
So
if you
have you
die,
seen-
if you die and you lose your experience, you lose 50 hours of experience.
So let
50
me-
hours of playing. Just gone.
ha-
You can go from the top level 50. If you keep dying, you'll be level 48. And you'll just lose those abilities that you had for the last 2 levels. Like, it is so punishing. Yeah.
you want
You kids don't even know.
you want to know the new punishing thing that everybody's kicking themselves in the nuts for
what is it, Nick?
is WoW hardcore.
Oh yeah, that looks pretty
there-
cool.
Have you seen any of the videos of people leaking like meetings with like guild masters and shit?
No.
Anybody? No.
No.
So there's a streamer, I can't remember his name, but he posted a video on Reddit and it quickly got copyright stricken or whatever, just essentially sabotaged, and it got taken down. It's still up on his channel. You can watch it. And essentially he's like trying out for this guild in hardcore WoW. And they're like, we raid at this time, from this time on these days. If you're late, you pay everybody. Like you pay everybody like $10. And there's like, 25 people in the guild. What ends up happening is if you die, like the guild master's like, if you die in the raid, you pay us $250. If you do something to sabotage the whole raid, we will like essentially sue you. Like it is the most insane conversation about video games I've ever seen, I've ever heard, and these guys are dead serious. And Emilio, if you die in WoW Hardcore, which mind you is WoW Classic, so it's hard as fuck, anyways, right? If you die in WoW Hardcore, you completely lose everything. Not
Start
just a
over from
level
level
percentage of
one,
levels.
or
You start off from level 1.
yeah,
That's fucking
Uh,
rough as shit.
You
yeah.
can PvP. There's all these videos now of like people doing what are called mock garages. I don't know if you guys ever watched the Warhammer movie, but it's the moment where two people have agreed to fight to the death. And when you duel, you have the option to type in, agree to fight to the death, and people will go and fight in the middle of towns, and people gather and watch, and people pull out these insane um like items and like abilities and shit that nobody's ever used, because like the severity of playing the game has never been that high. Like people are using like web bombs, and like people are using like sleep powders, and people are using
Mm.
like dynamite, like things that haven't been used in so long because it would be considered bad. Like there would be no reason to have them. But in a 1v1 duel, they're essentially mandatory, and like the economy is skewed. The game, it's a completely different game than normal in normal WoW.
Sounds
There's
very
essentially
exciting.
like there's like leveled, like tier listed leveling areas. Like there's a specific place where in the horde area, where like it's very big desert, and then it goes into like an oasis kind of area, and then there's a dungeon that's inside that area that is like all snake themed, right? Well, that area has roaming patrols of groups of 4 centaurs. And the thing is, there's no class that level that can take on 4 of these things. And so if they lock onto you, you're fucked, because the game also has tripled chasing distances. And if
Jesus.
something's chasing you for longer than, like, I think it's 5 seconds, it doubles its speed. And so it is insane, dude.
Dude, that
It
sounds.
is
I kind of want to play this. So
Yeah,
it's you got to play WoW Classic, and then there's a hardcore mode.
so you just as long as you have WoW Classic, or you just have WoW, right? You can play WoW Hardcore. It's official. Like it's a thing that's
Okay, it's not a
like
mod
on
or
their
anything.
launcher. And me and my friends are looking into getting into it, but God, dude, if you just it just takes one little thing, just
Yeah.
one little thing for you to fucking die. And there's instant death mechanics in WoW, by the way. Like they're like fall in the lava, die. Like it very much is your whole, because it takes what I think it's 300 and something hours to get to max level on the hardest class to level, which is Druid. Imagine being a Druid level 60. Oh, you just die in a raid. There goes 300 hours of your life.
Yeah.
But people are
Guys,
selling hardcore.
Yeah.
the podcast
People
has
are
to take
selling
off.
hardcore characters.
We have to dedicate
Play
all our
this
lives
all
to
day, every day. Yeah.
we have to find a
Every
way
single
to
day.
do it.
Well, that-
Do you know the
so, like, dude-
viewership? You know how fucking I would watch that. 4 people playing hardcore till
Yeah.
they lose. You know, that'd
Yeah.
be so good content.
So like the other thing that people are doing, which is like, so normally when you play with your friends, it'd be like, I want to be an undead warrior. Well, I want to be a Tauren hunter. Like everyone
I
wants to
like
be
the
a certain
friend
thing, right?
voice. I like the voices.
Well, this thing is, because this shit's so hard and you really just don't want to die. You usually will level together, like you'll see like 5 Taurens running around, because they've all decided to be Taurens, because the time it would take at level 1 to run
get
across
to
the
each other.
world to get to each other and possibly die and have to restart
Right.
is a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
there's
that's really cool.
like, yeah, it's really interesting. Like normally
like
you would
that.
see like
It's more
you would
realistic.
see like a night elf and a
Yeah.
human and like whatever, like but it completely changes the game.
That's
Oh, that's so
uh,
exciting.
like,
Bobby,
you
how
would
did
you
you
be
do
into
this?
it?
Yeah,
Not
Bobby.
that I have time.
Dude, I couldn't commit to that.
Yeah.
I
Thanks
don't
for
have
reeling
time
us
for
back.
regular
Way
WoW.
to pop our balloon, dude.
Yeah. Pop the balloon. Pop the balloon.
Apparently it's becoming like just more and more popular every month. Like the more people play it, the more people stream it, because like people bet on duels, like bet gold and then bet real money out of world. Like
That's
it is
pretty cool.
hilarious, dude. It's so funny.
One more voice thing that I'll never forget this one. There has rarely been a time in a multiplayer game that I've been more powerful than my max level. I don't even know what you call it anymore. Minion guy. I don't know. It was like a necromancer in City of Heroes, and I would go and solo the top level areas by myself because there was a one spell called Fulcrum Shift where you would take all the speed and abilities from the enemies and then give their attributes to your minions, and your minions attributes would go on the enemies, and it would only last like 5 seconds, but it was enough to like wipe them out. So I would just, the bigger badder things that they were, I would just jump in the middle of them, activate it, and it would be over and over. It was pretty broken. So anyway, I'm fucking max level. I got all the money in the world, all this stuff. I'm in on a I was in a group, and I'm so more powerful than everybody else. I'm up ahead again, ahead of the raid, 20-man raid, something like that, 20, 30. And I'm just like jumping ahead, and I don't care. I'm so powerful. I don't give a shit. I'm just like la la la. The jumps in that game were great. You could jump like 15 feet. Everybody could. And so I'm jumping away, and we're in this like office building, and I'm way ahead of my crew of 20 people. And it scales. So 20 people, 30 monsters. There's like crazy fucking things. So I turn a corner after like jumping, and I just run into a wall of monsters, like a wall. And it was just like a nervous reaction. I go, ah, and my raid, and I run back to that. I was like, there's a lot of monsters. And the raid leader's like, did your sister just get on for a second and yell on there? And I was so embarrassed that
Oh my god.
it was yeah, that's what happened. Bobby, you got any?
No, not really. I can't think of anything. It's hard to read the room in voice chat. So I feel like this happens a lot where people will jump in and just not vibe with the rest of the people that are talking. Sometimes when we're playing video games, like we're like super hardcore focused or something, and someone comes in and they're just yakking it up, dude.
Yeah.
It becomes like kind of a distraction, and they don't
Totally.
realize how
Happens all
much
the
they're
time.
distracting.
Yeah,
I talked
'cause-
about this once before. Like, I was playing Heroes with some people, and someone joined the chat like that, and they just kicked them, and then they came back and like, "Why'd you kick me?" And they kicked them again and banned them. And it wasn't even someone that we all knew really well, but I was like, "Damn, that's cold."
Was that was voice chat big in that, Bobby? Like, would you voice chat every single game?
I mean, if you're just playing by yourself, no, but if you're playing with friends, yeah, you definitely voice chat.
Yeah. All right.
What are we playing this week, folks, friends?
I got the Risk of Rain on the Steam Deck. I'm gonna start taking Steam Deck. Oh, I don't know how many days, but I'm moving over to mornings this week at work, so maybe I will be available in the. I don't know.
Oh my god,
Early
the prodigal son
Ooh,
returns. You might be able to play
that's
fucking video games
exciting.
for once.
No, it's
Yay.
it's not permanent. It's like half the week or something, but we'll see.
I may be playing For the King 2. The thing is, next week is American Thanksgiving. Not this coming week, but next week is American Thanksgiving. So I won't be in town for like 6 days or 5 days. Unless I know I might be on the podcast. I might get home around like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock on my time. So I might be able to make it to the podcast. We'll see. I'll be talking about VR that whole week then, if that's the case.
Okay. VR. I want to play Two Strikes. Nice. We'll see.
Lethal Company for me. Hopefully someone will join me.
Yeah. If I work early all week, we'll see about Friday, Bobby. I'll just pick it up. Like if I have the time, I'll pick it up then.
All right. Yeah. $10. Take the chance.
Sign us off.
All right. Speaking for Bobby, Christian, Nick, and myself, two titties. Bye, everybody.